In this video, we're going to be taking a look at 10 different chart analyses to get you prepared for the week ahead. If you love the content, please like, subscribe, and leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you're interested in learning to trade Forex like a professional, we I teach you how to trade Forex from scratch. Check out our course on Udemy. I have the link attached in the description below. If you feel like navigating through any of the charts, please use the timestamp below. It's going to make it easy for you to access different charts we're going to be analyzing in this video. So as usual, we'll be starting with the gold. So my screen here, this is a gold chart on the weekly time frame. And last week we kind of tested the all-time highs. So we didn't go too deep into the all-time highs, but we did get there. So I'm going to go down to the lower time frame to see what's happening down here in order for us to see if we can spot out good trade opportunities for this coming week. So moving on to the 2 hours time frame, what we can see is that gold seems to be moving within an ascending flag. Okay, so I'm going to call this an ascending channel so it's easy for us to understand. So we have 1, 2, 3, so 3 multiple bounces off the bottom, and we have 1, 2, 3 bounces off the top. So this is a valid channel, but it's an ascending channel because we have higher lows and higher highs. So this is kind of like a bullish pattern. So something I'll be watching out for is that just because it's a bullish pattern doesn't mean I'll be going long on gold this week, okay? Because we are just sort of reversing from this all-time high on gold. So there are 2 things I'm going to watch out for. So we're going to watch out for levels like this. So give me a minute. So this is 2 hours time frame, remember. So I'm going to watch out for these levels. So we have 1 and we have 2. So these are the most significant support level area of value on gold right now if we were to get a massive reversal before we make another run at the all-time highs. But for you to take a trade, I'm going to go down to the 1 hour time frame to see what's really happening down here. So within our channel, I'm going to use this trend line. So I know we're doing so many things right now, but you're going to get it very soon. So yeah, this is our channel. For me to go short, I'm going to wait for price to make a consolidation like this. So I'm going to wait for some sort of consolidation like this and a bearish breakout for me to go short. So this is going to be my base case scenario for me to go short on gold. My first target is going to be below this below the lows of this channel. Then second target is going to be around this area of value where I'm going to look forward to opening long positions. So I'm going to look forward to opening long positions here because this is the logical price levels to look for new opportunities to go long and gold, aiming for the all-time highs if we're indeed going to retest those highs, because I don't think we're going to be breaking the all-time highs on gold right now. So I'm going to show you the reason why when we move down to the DXY chart. So this is my brief outlook for gold. If this area of value fails to hold, then we might see gold falling all the way down to this area of value before we look for those massive longs on gold. So the reason why I'm waiting for a consolidation here is because we are currently oversold, right? So a consolidation around this price level would give the price action or the RSI enough room to move back into the safe zone before giving us that swift opportunity to go short. So I'm sort of bearish on gold right now, and I'm also bearish on the major currency pairs, having the US dollar as the quote currency. So EUR-USD, GB-USD, I'm bearish on all those pairs, and I'm going to show you why when we move down to the DXY chart. So this is my brief outlook for gold. So mind you, we might also get a bounce off of these lows, right? We might get a bounce here, but I'm going to be very careful looking at going long at these price levels, because clearly we seem to be reversing from the all-time highs. And if we go up to the 4 hours chart, I'm going to show you something really interesting right now. So going to the 4 hours chart, excuse me, I'm going to get rid of this stuff. 1, 2. So looking at the 4 hours chart, you can see that price has been making series of higher highs. So we have 1, 2, 3. But on the RSI, we made 1, 2, 3 lower highs. So we have RSI moving downward like this, showing bearish strength. And we have the price action making higher highs, showing strength. So this is clearly a bearish divergence. So this bearish divergence means it's long overdue for price to experience some sort of bearish reversal. So I think that's why we are seeing this massive price reversal on gold, coupled with the fact that DXY seems to be strong right now. So This is my brief outlook for gold. So I'm going to wait for a good consolidation here and a bearish breakout from that consolidation, aiming for this area of values here. That's if we take out the lows of this channel. And if this area of value, so this support level, if it doesn't hold, then we are going to probably fall down to this other area of value. We are going to look for opportunities to go long. So either way, one of these lows are going to hold, which will give us the next opportunity to start looking for good longs on gold, because we are seeing a bullish trend, right? But because of this, flag pattern and the divergence coupled with, price tapping into the all-time highs, I think it's logical to look for opportunities to go short. So we take advantage of the price action where we wait for an opportunity to go long. So that's it briefly for gold. Moving on, we're going to be talking about GBP-USD. So I'm not going to spend much time on this, right? What we can see on GBP-USD is that this is a 4 hours time frame. We can see price making series of bounces off of this trend line. So we have 1, we have 2, we have 3, and we have 4, right? So I'm going to go down to the lower time frame. So before I go down to the lower time frame, let me show you something real quick. So we are currently sitting at the highs we just broke, right? So this is the current highs on GBP-USD we just took out last week. So we seem to be trading slightly below this high. So something I watch out for is that I'm going to look for a good opportunity to go long. I know some traders will want to go long at these price levels because we seem to be retesting this broken level. But mind you, DXY seems to be gaining strength, so that's something very significant we need to pay attention to. So since DXY is gaining strength, there's a good chance GBP-USD, EUR-USD, AUD-USD would experience some sort of bearish move. So what I'll be watching out for to go long, okay, to go long, we'll be waiting for price to come into this area of value. So this is the first area of value I'm going to wait for me to go long on GBP-USD, while this is the second area of value I'm going to wait for to go long on GBP-USD. But while we wait for price to come into this area of value, we could take advantage of the bearish price movement provided by these currency pairs. So how do we do that? So I'm going to wait for price to break through this trend line, probably get a retest, and then a bearish reversal for me to go short, aiming for this area of value where I'm going to look forward to opening my long positions. So alternatively, I'm going to wait for price to break through this trend line, give us that consolidation, so a little bit of consolidation, and then a bearish move or a bearish breakout before I go short, aiming for this area of value here where I'm going to look forward to opening my long positions. So lastly, we might see some sort of reversal from this trend line first, because we are currently oversold on the RSI. So this will give the RSI enough room to move back into the safe zone where we get our consolidation, and then a bearish breakout for us to go short. So this is what I'm going to be watching out for to go short on GBP-USD, and I'm going to look for to go long around these price levels here, which is at this area of value or around this area of value. So we're going to follow up with the chart as the price action evolves, but this is what I'm going to be watching out for across these major currency pairs and gold, right? So if we do not break this trend line, okay, let's say for example we're going to continue the bullish momentum as we did last week, then I'm simply going to wait for a reversal. Excuse me, I'm going to get rid of this stuff so it's clear. So get rid of this, and I'm also going to get rid of this. So let's say for example we don't break through this trend line, so there's always the other side of the coin, right? So I've been bearish and looking forward to go long here. So what if price doesn't come into this area of value? So I'm simply going to wait for price to reverse, right, consolidate a little, and give me a clear bullish breakout for me to go long. So this is also another scenario to go long on GBP-USD, but I think this is hardly going to play out. But we don't guess, right? We don't make assumptions. We move along with what the price gives us. So if the price gives me something like this with a bullish breakout, then I'm going to take advantage of that bullish move, riding on with this massive bullish move on GBP-USD. Meanwhile, if we don't get this, then I'm just going to wait for a consolidation. So excuse me. So I'm just going to wait for a consolidation and a bearish breakup from that consolidation to go short. I'm going to wait for a break of this trend line, a consolidation below the trend line, or a retest before I go short. Either way, we're going to follow up these charts on Discord. So if you're not on our Discord server or our Discord community, join our Discord today with the link in the description below. You're going to learn a lot, and you're going to follow up this chat with me as the trade evolves, right? So moving on, we're going to talk about EUR-USD real quick. So similar to what we have on GBP-USD, we had this bullish move last week, right? So I'm going to go down to the before we go down to the lower time frame, let me just show you something real quick. So we are clearly in a bullish trend on EUR-USD. So we had our lows here and we had higher lows, and now we seem to have made a higher high. So there's a good chance we keep going higher. But before then, we are currently trading within this range, right, within this channel. So this is an ascending channel like we had on gold. So what I'll be watching out for is waiting for something like this. So just as I'm expecting those bearish consolidation on GB-USD, I'm also expecting some here. So I'm going to wait for this trend line, which is clearly broken. So I'm going to wait for a consolidation around these price levels, right? So remember, the reason I wait for consolidation is because it gives us room to get a tighter risk to reward ratio when we jump into those trades. So if we get a consolidation like this is going to be known as a bearish continuation pattern. The reason is because we had a bearish move first. So a bearish continuation pattern signifying that this bearish move is going to continue. Then at the break of that consolidation, we go short, aiming for the lows of this channel, right? So that's how I'm going to play. I'm going to trade EUR-USD. So my target is going to be the lows of this channel. So if we come to the lows of this channel, then I'm going to wait for a very good consolidation at this channel before another bearish breakout. That's indeed if we are going to go lower, right? So this is how I'm going to trade EUR-USD. So for now, the only way I'm going to go long, okay, is this. So I'm going to give you a brief example of what's going to make me go long on EUR-USD. So if we get a price consolidation like this, maybe we slowly creep down to the lows of this channel, then we might get a bullish bounce. So I'm going to wait for something like this, taking out these highs, if we do get one, for me to go long, just as we had here. So remember, price action is simply the study of past price movements to make future predictions on where price is likely to head. So we had this consolidation here, and we had a bullish breakout which sent price to the upper bound of the channel. So if we get something like this again and a break of this trend line, this would be another opportunity for me to go long. So it doesn't really have to happen in this format, right? But this is just an example to show you what I'll be watching out for to go long on EUR-USD. So if we trade within the channel and this happens, then I'm going to go long. But before then, I'm just going to wait for something like this. I'm going to trade what the price is currently giving us, okay? So the current signal is we wait for a consolidation like this, a bearish continuation pattern, might be a descending triangle, a symmetrical triangle. As far as we get a bearish breakout, I'm going to go short, aiming for the lows of this channel, where I'm going to wait to see if we either bounce or break through this trend line. Then I'm going to send a follow-up analysis in our Discord. So once again, join our Discord if you are not in that community already. Moving on, we're going to talk about AUD-USD. So AUD-USD is clearly in a bearish trend, right? So we have price making a series of lower highs and lower lows, where we had where we had a price rejection from these highs. So I actually thought we were going to take out these highs, which would mean the creation or the beginning of a new bullish trend, but instead we got rejected at this price level. Now we are still in this bearish trend, and now we seem to be having a bearish continuation pattern. This is something I talked about last week when people were trying to go short on this, and I was like, it looks both bullish and bearish, and I explained the reason why from a market correlation point of view, and it played out exactly as I explained. So going out to the lower time frame, looking for opportunities to go short because we are clearly in a bearish trend, right? So something that happened last week, I think I took advantage of this trade, but I wasn't able to share this analysis because I had a very busy day on Friday. So we have price bouncing off this area of value, right? So this was kind of like a double top for us with this massive price rejection. Okay, so right now I'm going to be watching for something like this. I'm going to watch out for something like this to go short. So from the look of things, it seems we are currently within a range on AUD-USD, right? So I'm going to watch out for something like this. So let's see. Yeah, so I'm going to use this too. So if we get a price reversal all the way to these highs, okay, giving us a higher lows, in order for us to draw a trend line, then I'm going to go short. So something like this is what I'm going to watch out for to go short on AUD-USD, because AUD-USD doesn't really move as fast as GB-USD and EUR-USD moves, because AUD seems to struggle with the US dollar. So that's why we may get a wide range of consolidation like this before we go short. So if something like this happens, then I'm going to go short on AUD-USD, aiming for these lows, right? But if I'm not able to get a trade entry on AUD-USD, so let's say we just drop hard like a rock from these price levels down to this level, then I'm not going to rush into any trade. I'm simply going to wait for price to consolidate around these price levels. I'm going to wait for a consolidation around these price levels and a break of that consolidation for me to go short. This would give me a tighter risk to reward ratio because I'm going to go short here, right? So I'm going to go short here, and my stop loss is going to be above the consolidation while I trail my trade position as we head lower. So it's as simple as that. So we have two options. So we either wait for price to come to this support level, get a consolidation and a bearish breakout, then we'll go short. Alternatively, we could get something like this. So excuse me, I'm going to get rid of this. So alternatively, we could get a breakout, a retest, and a bearish reversal. So this is another option. Then we might also get a breakout, a consolidation below the support level before we go short. So either of these three options is going to be the best case scenario to go short on AUD-USD. So for me to go long, I'm going to wait for price to creep slowly upward to this resistance level, consolidate at this resistance level. There have to be a consolidation, then a bullish breakout from this resistance level to go higher. So this is going to be the only case study in which I'm going to go long on AUD-USD. If this doesn't happen, I'm just going to keep to my bearish bias, because right now DXY seems to be strong, which means there's a good chance AUD-USD goes down, gold goes down, GB-USD goes down, EUR-USD also goes down. So that's the reason why I'm being bearish on AUD-USD right now. Okay, so that's it briefly for AUD-USD. Moving on, we're going to talk about Nasdaq. So real quick, Nasdaq, we had a good breakout from this descending triangle. Now we seem to be trading above this area of value. So we had 1, 2, 3. So we had 3 good bounce, and we had a bullish breakout from this resistance level. Now we seem to be forming a bullish flag, right? But there's something to pay attention here. So you don't just jump into a trade because it looks like a bullish flag. Okay, so I'm going to go down to the lower time frame to show you what I'm talking about. So on the 2 hours time frame, yeah, I'm going to take a look at this chart real quick. So on the 2 hours time frame, this clearly looks like a bullish flag. So we had the flag pole, which is the incoming bullish move. Then we had this consolidation giving us lower highs and a resistance level. So in order for me to go long on this, because it looks like a bullish flag and we just bounced off this resistance level, then I'm going to wait for a break of this area of value, which is another resistance level we have at these price levels here. So I'm going to wait for price to break out, retest, and continue the bullish move for me to go long. And my entry is going to be around the bullish move here. Then my stop loss is going to be just below the area of value, and my take profit is going to be around the next resistance level, the next swing high. You get the point. So alternatively, right, so we might not get a retest. So alternatively, I'm just going to wait for a breakout, just to be sure that it's not going to be a fake out. I'm going to wait for a consolidation. So a consolidation, which signifies a bullish continuation pattern, and a bullish breakout from that consolidation, which is going to be my signal to go long on Nasdaq, right? So something else to pay attention is that Nasdaq also moves in the opposite direction of the DXY. So right now, since the DXY is bullish, I'm going to show you that as we move down to the end of the video. So since DXY seems to be bullish, there's a good chance Nasdaq doesn't go in line with technicals, right? There's a good chance the correlation between the Nasdaq and the DXY plays out, and this just turns to a fake out, right, making sending price downwards. So that would totally invalidate this technical setup we have here. So that's why it's important to pay attention to correlations and technicals, because the US dollar is the king of the forex market, or the king of these indices, because Nasdaq is an indices based in the United States. So a combination of different companies in the United States. So whatever happens to the dollar affects the Nasdaq, the US 30, and the S&P 500, right? So this is my outlook briefly for Nasdaq. And mind you, this month, this April, so we're going to be getting some quarterly earnings reports, so revenue reports from various companies. which is also going to affect the Nasdaq price action, right, or the price action on Nasdaq. So from a technical point of view, this looks like a classic buy setup because we also had a retest here on Friday. So if we get this bullish consolidation, so like I said earlier, if we get this bullish consolidation above the resistance level with a bullish breakout, then I'm going to go long, aiming for higher price levels. But if we get a slight breakout like this, and then I'm going to watch out to see if we indeed reverse to the downside. Then if we reverse to the downside, that will totally invalidate this bullish flag or this resistance level, and then I'm going to stay away from the trade. So another reason why the dollar may be strong and the Nasdaq may also be strong is that if we do get positive earnings reports this month, then that's definitely going to make the Nasdaq bullish despite what the dollar does, right? So that's it briefly for Nasdaq. Moving on, we're going to talk about CHF-JPY real quick. So CHF-JPY requested by one of our community members. CHF-JPY still in a bullish trend like we talked last week or last 2 weeks as the case may be. So we have price making series of higher highs and higher lows, and we had a very massive consolidation around these price levels, and it seems the trend is about to resume its bullish momentum. So something I'll be watching out for is this okay, these are our current highs. I'm going to go down to the lower time frame. Let's see the 2 hours time frame to see what's happening down here. So at these current price levels, I don't think I'll be taking any action, right? Because we are already close to the all-time highs. So I'm going to wait for price to get into the all-time highs. Then this is where we're going to decide if we're going to go short or go long, right? So the reason why I'm going to consider going short is that we might get a slight rejection back to these highs, right? Back to these highs before we eventually move higher. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to make this chart clear. So just give me a minute to get rid of this stuff. Let's see how I can make this clear. Yeah. So we're going to wait for price to come into this resistance level. Then if we get a good consolidation, okay, if we get a good consolidation and then a bullish breakout, this would be my signal to go long on CHF-JPY. Other than this, I'm just going to wait to see what price does before either going long or going short. So this is going to be one of my best case scenario to go long. So we might also get into this resistance level, breakout, retest, and then continue with a bullish move. So this will also be another reason to go long. Alternatively, we might get a breakout, a consolidation above the resistance level, like a bullish flag, a bullish rectangle, an ascending triangle, a symmetrical triangle, whatever the chart pattern looks like. The bullish breakout, then I'm going to go long. So these are the 3 different scenarios in which I'm going to go long on CHF-JPY, right? So to go short, I'm going to wait to see if we get a reversal candlestick pattern. So this could be a very solid doji on the 4 hours time frame, or it could be an engulfing candle. So a bearish engulfing candle could be one of the reasons why I go short on Nasdaq when we get to this on CHF-JPY, excuse me, when we get to these price levels. And if we indeed get a price rejection, so I'm going to show you something real quick. And if we indeed get a price rejection from these resistance levels, then I'm going to aim for this area of value here, where I'm going to look forward to opening my buy trade positions, aiming back for the all-time highs or even higher price levels, because this is clearly a bullish trend, right? So that's it brief for CHF-JPY. Moving on, we're going to talk about AUD-CAD, requested by the same person, I think. So we are currently in a bearish trend. So you can see price making series of lower highs and lower lows, because we are working with this current trend, right? Because we just put in a lower low, lower than this low. So to go short, because it's a bearish trend, I'm going to go down to the 1 hour time frame. I'm going to wait for price to consolidate a little around its levels. So I'm going to wait for some sort of price consolidation, giving us a valid support level and a bearish breakout from that support level before I think about going short on AUD-CAD, because this is going to give me a tighter risk to reward ratio. Because right now, if you jump into a trade here, then your stop loss would have to be around these highs, okay, while your take profits would be at the next support level. But if we wait for a consolidation like this before a breakout, so your entry is going to be at the breakout and your stop loss is just going to be above the consolidation that leads to the breakout. So this gives you a tighter risk to reward ratio when entering this kind of trades, right? Alternatively, you could wait for price. So there's a good chance you can see from the price action, it seems like a choppy market, but it's chopping to the downside, right? So there's a good chance we get a price reversal, retesting these highs here to grab some liquidity before dumping hard. So this is something else to watch out for before going short on AUD-CAD. So I'm not going to think about going long. Even if we take out these highs here, I wouldn't be going long. I'm only going to go short on this trade because it looks like a classic sell setup because of the trend, right? So another reason why I won't be jumping into a sell trade here, or even if we get a good move to the downside, I won't be jumping into a sell trade because we are currently oversold, so price could reverse at any time. So I'm just going to wait for price to come back into the safe zone. By that time, price action would have reversed a little or consolidated a little to give us that bearish breakout in continuation of this trend. So this is something I'm going to be watching out for to go short on AUD-CAD, coupled with the fact that this also corresponds with this price rejection off of these levels. So briefly, I'm going to watch out for a consolidation. I know this looks rough right now, so I'm going to get rid of some of these lines. So I'm going to watch out for stuff like this. So to go short, I'm going to either wait for a consolidation at these price levels, creating a good support level, followed by a breakout. So this is going to be my best case scenario to go short on AUD-CAD. Alternatively, I'm going to wait for price to move back into this area of value where I'm going to wait for a reversal candlestick pattern like a bearish engulfing candle to go short, aiming for lower prices. So this is just what I'm going to watch out for AUD-CAD. Anything beside this, I'm just going to stay away from the chart. Moving on, we're going to talk about AUD-JPY real quick. So AUD-JPY in a downtrend, just like we just saw on AUD-CAD, price making a series of lower highs. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 lower highs, and currently making some lower lows as well. So moving on to the lower time frame. So this is the 4-hour chart. Moving on to the lower time frame. So the 1-hour time frame. Yeah. So I'm going to watch out for something like this to go short because this is clearly a bearish trend. So I'm going to wait for price to creep slowly to this trend line, consolidate a little to validate this trend line as as an area respected by most traders in the market, then a bearish breakout for me to go short. This is the only case in which I'm going to go short on AUD-JPY. If this doesn't happen, I'm going to stay away from this chart. So this is one of the reasons why I don't like to trade minor currency pairs, right? Because there's a good chance we get a straight breakout down and it turns into a reversal, giving you a higher low, right? So that's the reason why I wait for price levels like this, a good consolidation validating this trend line as a respected area of value, right, with a bearish breakout before we go short. So this would be my best case scenario to go short on AUD-JPY. So I'm going to go down to the 6-hour time frame to see something real quick. So I'm going to check if there's an hidden trend within the higher time frames. So yeah, looking at the charts, I'm going to go down to let me go to the daily time frame. I think that's going to give us more information on the chart. So on the daily time frame, this looks like a bullish trend, right? So we had a swing low, we had a higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, until price broke below this low, making a lower low. So this means there's a good chance this bullish trend here may be coming to an end, giving rise to this new trend over here. So that's the reason why I'm going to be going short only and not long, because with price making lower lows and lower highs, it means there's a good chance this bullish trend might be coming to an end, right? So that's the reason why on the 1-hour time frame right now, I'm going to be waiting for a break of this trend line, right, after a consolidation to go short. Even if we take out this resistance level, I don't think I'll be going long on AUD-JPY, but if you're a risk taker, you should only go long at a very, very, very low risk. So that will be waiting for price to take out this resistance level, consolidating a little or retesting, then aim for this other resistance level where I think we might see our bearish price rejection, because this is clearly a new trend forming, right? So that's it briefly for AUD-JPY. Moving on, we're going to talk about US 30. requested by one of our community members. We talked about this last week. So right now, I won't be going long or short. I'm just going to wait for price. So this is the 4 hours chart, by the way. So US30, I'm going to wait for price to come into this area of value, consolidate a little, where we're going to decide if we're going to go long on a bullish breakout or go short on a bearish reversal, right? So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to get rid of these lines. So when we go into this area of value, I'm going to wait for a bearish engulfing candlestick pattern. That's just my favorite candlestick pattern because it works almost all the time. So when I get a bearish engulfing candlestick pattern on the 4 hours time frame, I'm not going to watch out for the 1 hour time frame because the 4 hours time frame in this case is much more significant than paying attention to the lower time frame like the 30 minutes time frame or the 1 hour time frame, because US30 is a very volatile indices, right? So I'm going to wait for a bearish engulfing candlestick pattern on the 4 hours time frame or the 6 hours time frame. Then that's going to be my signal to go short. I'm going to go short with my stop loss just above the highs of the engulfing candles. Well, if we don't get the engulfing candle, then we get a consolidation at this resistance level. I'm going to wait for a bullish breakout to go long, aiming for higher price targets. And my stop loss is going to be below the consolidation. So like I said earlier, I am not going to be trading US30 on the 1 hour time frame or the 30 minutes time frame like most traders do, because US30 is very volatile. So paying attention to the higher time frame like the 4 hours time frame is going to give you a much more solid signal to either go long or short. So that's it briefly for US30. And lastly, we're going to talk about the DXY, which is the dollar strength index. So this is where I'm going to show you why I think the dollar is strong, or it's likely going to gain some bullish momentum before probably heading lower if the bearish momentum is going to continue. So we had a massive bullish move, and now we seem to be correcting to the downside, right? So what happened last week Friday that led to the massive bearish move across all major currency pairs and gold was we had a bounce off of this support level. So this is the daily time frame on DXY. So I'm going to go down to the 4 hours time frame. So you can see we had a bounce off these lows, giving us a double bottom. So we had 1, 2. So the reason why I believe the DXY might be, gaining some momentum is because we might see some price movement back to this area of value, so which is this resistance level here, right? So if the DXY rallies to this resistance level, then you can expect some weakness on gold, EUR-USD, GBP-USD, AUD-USD, Nasdaq, and all major currency pairs having the US dollar as the quote currency. And this also corresponds with the gold, with gold tapping into the all-time highs, right? So this is something I'm going to be watching out for DXY. So alternatively, I might be wrong, right? I might be wrong. This might turn into a small consolidation on the DXY, which will lead to the break of this low. So if this happens, then you can expect bullish momentum on gold, GBP-USD, EUR-USD, AUD-USD, Nasdaq, as the case may be. So we're not going to be guessing. We're not going to be, making assumptions. So we're going to trade whatever the market gives us. But I have a much more bullish bias on the DXY compared to, having a bearish bias. But that being said, I'm not going to make any assumptions. I'm just going to wait to see what the market does. Then we're going to trade accordingly. And I'm going to follow up these charts in our Discord. So once again, if you're not in our Discord yet, join our Discord community using a link in the description below. You're going to learn a ton, and you're going to follow up with me live as we move on with the week. Lastly, if you're interested in learning to trade Forex like a professional, where I teach you how to trade from scratch, check out our Forex trading course on Udemy. I have the link attached in the description below. I hope this week's analysis helps. Once again, if you are interested in navigating through all these charts, use the timestamp below. That's it from me this week, guys. See you next week.